WSAV, the station that's on your side. You're watching News 3 Today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Gusby.
And I'm Ben Katko. Thanks for joining us here on News 3 Today. Kyle and I went out to grab breakfast a little bit earlier. Cloudy then, it's just, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I was expecting it to be a little more, but it's more like,
It's just,
Yeah, let's take a live look from our Dozier law cam right now.
There's a technical scale for that,
Is that the word
right?
for it? Kind of.
Textbook term.
Exactly. This is our forecast first. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning. Yeah, not a fantastic day, but certainly could be worse. The clouds have moved in, but the clouds are actually coming in with a warm front, but along with that also could be a few spotty showers. We've seen a few try to develop. A lot of this hasn't reached the ground, but we're watching it through the afternoon. Just a few occasional isolated brief light showers, not expecting anything terribly heavy. We are warming up. Despite the clouds, our wind is slowly starting to shift. It was out of the north earlier this morning, now more out of the east, and eventually later this afternoon out of the south. And that should get us at least above 70. We're already at 70 though in Darien, 69 for Jessup, Savannah coming in at 64. As we move through the day, look for a mostly cloudy sky, maybe a peak or two of sunshine if we're lucky, but don't expect a whole lot of sun today, really, or tomorrow. But tomorrow we get really warm, back to the 80s just for one day. A little bit of a roller coaster, making us a little dizzy, I think, over the next couple days, up and down. Shorts tomorrow, coats maybe for the rest of, or at least part of the 7-day forecast, not out of the question.
And then later on, back to shorts.
Exactly.
That's how it happens.
That's exactly how it happens.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kyle. South Carolina lawmakers continue to talk about a bill that would close what some call the Charleston loophole.
It got that name after Dylan Roof was able to buy a gun even though he had not passed a background check. Georgia Ree Godfrey was at the State House during a rally asking lawmakers to close that loophole.
Dozens of people rallied at the State House Tuesday while lawmakers weighed in on the pros and cons of a bill that enhances reporting procedures for criminal cases and background checks. Referred to as the Charleston loophole, this bill would extend the period from 3 days to 5 for a background check to not come back before a gun can be sold.
We'd prefer for it to be 30 days or or a complete delay until the background check is completed. But realizing, and with all things politics, it has some kind of compromise to it, and people are entitled to some due process, which.
The bill also cuts the time for court clerks to report the results of criminal cases to the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division from 30 days to 10 days. And for cases that include charges like domestic violence and sexual harassment, those cases will have to be reported within 48 hours, which some say will make the clerk's job even tougher.
The bill is written that would require the clerk's staff to go through every single order almost immediately and read each order to make that determination of whether or not it needs to be reported to SLED within 48 hours. And along with that, the clerk's going to have to do some interpreting, reading the language. And we're not attorneys, we're not paralegals.
In Columbia, Georgia Ree Godfrey, WSAV News 3.
The lawmakers voted to carry the bill over to the next committee hearing. They are adding an amendment to include family courts in the case reporting.
Making headlines this morning, students at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School returned to class today for the first time since a shooting there killed 17 people. Students walked to school this morning alongside a heavy police presence. The school resumes classes this week with a half-day schedule as Broward County attempts to return to normal. Many students were emotional on their first day back, but others are eager to try to get their lives back to normal.
I'm kind of excited to be back at school. A little bit nervous to see how different everything feels, but I'm excited to be back with my friends.
There's no right time to go back to school, but like if we're all with our friends and we're all like united as a community, then like it feels better to be back in the community.
Broward County Superintendent said this morning that while the day will be filled with mixed emotions, he's elated students are returning to campus and that the Marjory Stoneman Douglas family is reuniting.
New this morning, Dick's Sporting Goods is listening to those students in Parkland. The store announced this morning it will no longer sell assault-style rifles and also will not sell any guns to anyone under 21 years old. CEO Edward Stack said Parkland students' calls for assault-style weapons bans are the reason the company is making the change. Stack says the company expects criticism from gun rights advocates as well as loss of sales.
On now to continuing coverage of a deadly shooting that took place on Savannah State University's campus over the weekend. Officials are changing how they keep students safe. Last night was the first time the university president addressed the shooting that left 20-year-old Khalil Clark dead. Dr. Farrell Brown says technology is what led police to an arrest in less than 12 hours. Technology put in place by the campus police chief 2 years ago. She says license plate readers and security cameras were used in the investigation over the weekend.
We introduced new technology, license plate readers, mobile and stationary, and we changed the traffic flow on campus to allow for faster response in situations of emergencies. We added body cameras for all officers. The local 911 has linked with our Savannah State University Police Department for faster campus response.
Student leaders who were in attendance say it's more than about the equipment. President Dozier tells News 3 there will still be limited access on campus for as long as the chief feels is necessary. They've also enforced a curfew and are asking local law enforcement agencies to increase security.
In a News 3 crime and safety report this morning, a Bluffton High School student is spending 3 days at home for vandalizing the bathrooms by writing one simple sentence: "We will not be silenced." Amy Huey went to all 12 bathrooms in the school and wrote her message. She says it wasn't designed to incite, but rather to inform and make students think about what happened in Parkland and what could happen in the Lowcountry.
I knew before I even got to guidance that I was going to get in a lot of trouble, and I told myself it was worth it because now students are talking about it. Now teachers are supporting and talking about it. Now at least there is conversation being held about what we should be doing and what we would do if a student were to enter our school and how easy it is. It's shed light on the situation, so to me, any kind of trouble that I'm going to get in has been worth it.
Amy says it took 20 minutes to get to all the bathrooms in the school. The school had the words covered up 30 minutes later. She was suspended for 3 days but could have gotten 6 or been expelled and sent to alternative school for her vandalism.
Chatham County Police are looking to the public for help to catch whoever is breaking into cars on the islands. In less than 24 hours, last Thursday into Friday morning, police say 16 separate reports were filed, including 3 handguns stolen out of those cars. Police say all had one common theme: every car was left unlocked. We spoke with a Whitmarsh Island man who says his truck was ransacked. While he only had a phone charger taken, he says it was a wake-up call.
So it's happening everywhere, and you don't know if they're residents of the islands, but everybody has a false belief that living out here keeps you safe and you're not prone to crime. But that's far from the truth.
Please lock your vehicles. These windows were not broken. They were not crowbarred. They were not smashed. These are all unlocked vehicles that were entered. And handguns in unlocked vehicles is not a good idea.
Police ask anyone with information to contact them, including those who've been a victim of a break-in and haven't yet reported the crime.
On to a consumer alert this morning. Here's something cool. Pizza Hut is helping kids succeed through reading. Studies show that 25 million children in the United States have trouble reading. So Pizza Hut just launched a new program called the Literacy Project to help change that. It's a fundraiser to give kids in need access to books and educational resources. So from now until April 15th, you can support the cause by adding a topping of literacy to your order or by donating online.
Disney is giving back in a big way, and it's all because of its latest box office hit, Black Panther. The Marvel Studios owner is set to donate $1 million from the proceeds of Black Panther to youth programs associated with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. It's in honor of one of the movie's key themes, young people being empowered by technology. The donation is expected to help grow STEM programs around the country. The Innovation Centers offer young people hands-on experiences in advanced technologies.
In a News 3 community report today, the Hostess City and Keep Savannah Beautiful are teaming up with Treasure Savannah and their volunteers this weekend for the Great Savannah Cleanup. The organizations will clean up around Midtown Saturday from 9 to noon. They're inviting businesses, neighbors, and other groups to join in by volunteering or organizing your own cleanup. If you'd like to participate, you can share your cleanup pictures on social media. Just use the hashtag #CleanYourBlock.
We are heading into the time of year where we start making trips to the beach.
After the break, we talked to law enforcement in the Lowcountry about how they plan to split up their patrol efforts and why they're doing that. You're watching WSAV News 3 Today.
I'm Dr. Jamal Tarif of Geechee Kunda and Day Clean Soul with today's Black History Moment. The neighborhood known as Ardsley Park was built upon a Gullah Geechee neighborhood known as Sunnyside. There are approximately 200 Gullah Geechee houses in Sunnyside. The houses were removed for the development of Ardsley Park. To learn more, contact us at Geechee Kunda or Day Clean Soul.
WSAV Celebrating Black History is brought to you by Attorney Ken Nugent.